Welcome to Tiger Wolf. I'm Josh, and this is David.
Please be aware, this podcast contains strong language and spoilers.
Let's talk about our predictions for 2020 to 2029.
Let's see how absurd we can get with this.
Do we want to put the Ghost Rider horror game back on the list?
Man, I'm telling you, it'd be awesome.
I don't know that it will.
Whatever.
I mean, would. First off, I think maybe some general predictions, not anything specific. You want to do yours first, or you want me to do mine first?
You do yours first.
Okay. I believe that in the next decade, we're going to see an improvement of the work environment for developers. This is less about the games themselves and more about the industry. But I mean, I hope to see this change, and I just think that it is necessary. There's a certain high level of stress and it needs to be done now. You're gonna have to work overtime type of thing. That there should be some chill on. Yeah. Basically.
I think there's going to be some sort of legal legal rulings involving surprise mechanics and microtransactions, that type of shit. I think we're going to see...
Please don't use surprise mechanics as the main way you're going to refer to
that. I have a feeling that, we're going to see some severe reductions in the legal allowed usage of it, or, something like that. Unlike what the new NBA game's doing, where there is a literal fucking casino in the game. Certain things I understand. You want, a specific cosmetic look for your character. Cool.
But microtransactions is how you get that.
I can understand.
That's not the same as
those things.
Purchasing a thing that it might have a value of shit versus it could be a value of gold or whatever.
Yeah. It could be a 1-star card or 5-star card. But I feel like there's going to be some sort of legal ruling involving that. I mean, that's a pretty safe bet.
Well, so technically gambling is already not allowed.
Yeah.
It's the legislation of what that constitutes gambling then. That is what needs to be updated. For that.
Yeah, but as far as yours go, I definitely hope we'll see more of an improvement in working conditions.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I really hope so. That way we can... Look, if it's going to take an extra 6 months for the game to come out, but the developers are getting their fucking weekends with their family, fine. I don't care. Let them have time with their fucking family.
Right. Allow them to actually take that, 1-2 month leave or whatever for paternity or maternity or what have you. Because they've just had a new fucking kid, and that shit's rough. And going into a job that's just as rough because it's demanding as much of you as that child who's screaming all the time is probably not great.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely hope that happens. Now on to the more outlandish ones. Here we go.
Yeah, let's start strong with something super outlandish. There's going to be a new Star Wars MMO, and this isn't going to be just your semi-static MMO that Star Wars: The Old Republic is, because it's it's a bit dated now.
Yeah, it just passed its 8-year anniversary.
Right. Don't get me wrong, still fun. I've actually been playing it recently, but I think this is going to be closer to Destiny in its actionness. So Destiny meets Fallen Order as far as gameplay goes in a lot of ways. It's still going to lean heavy on the RPG stuff because honestly, it just fits right for Star Wars. If you look at KOTOR, I'm sorry, Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Old Republic MMO, it all works really well, especially...
I mean, even in Fallen Order, you have...
there's plenty that don't use it.
There are upgrades that you can get.
Right. Like
there's skill point upgrades
there's a growth you want to experience. And I think that's necessary. And also, I just think that it would work really well, honestly. As much as I don't play games like Destiny, I also don't play MMOs, and I'm playing SWTOR right now.
So, would it be, do you think it'll be limited to just one side, just Jedi?
I don't think that will ever be a good idea for a proper Star Wars game of this nature. Something like Fallen Order or other...
Jedi Academy.
I don't know that much about Academy or anything of that stuff to know how they handled it. Where it's a story about a specific person and their path or brief part of their path, then sure. You can go ahead and kind of condense that down into, well, they can only be a light side person because this is the story we're telling.
Yeah. But
when you're talking about, you're opening it up to gamer choice, and that's also what I mean by leaning on the RPG side. Is there's going to be a lot of, there has to be really a lot of interaction, in my opinion, for it to really work with NPCs and stuff like that and making decisions and showing off their choices.
Yeah.
In that sense. I don't think it would work. I honestly like the idea of there being different kinds of storylines that you're following, like SWTOR does. With what kind of choices you're making in it. Yeah. For example, maybe you're not a Jedi or a Force user at all. Maybe you are a Republic soldier or an Empire soldier or something like that. And then you would have different specializations and stuff you can go into in those.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not keen on exactly how Destiny handles stuff like that, but I know it has classes of a sort.
Well, Destiny's got the three classes, the Hunter, the Titan, and the Warlock. And then each of those classes have three branches that you can freely switch between.
Yeah.
In gameplay, there's the Night Stalker, which is probably one of my favorite ones. Where for Hunter, use your special as a fucking bow of void energy.
So does that just affect your special, or does that?
It affects your special, your grenade, and your dodge ability, and there are a couple of other things you get.
But as far as other abilities and stuff.
Yeah,
is there a string of abilities? Yeah. It just flip flops between them depending on what level you are. This is what you have.
I
think some of that would actually really work. I think a lot of that model would actually really work for
if in this run you want to run as a demolition specialist, a Republic soldier who specializes in explosives.
So what? We have sniper, explosives, and heavy weapons.
Assault, demolitions, and recon. So yeah, basically.
And it would basically
from a military perspective, those would be what they would be broken down into. Your forward assault would be.
I don't know about the freely switching. I don't know about the freely switching between them, but at the same time, I'm not one to discourage. Today I feel like playing like this, so I want to play this character. I don't really like the idea of discouraging stuff like that, so I don't care. However, the developers feel works for that.
Yeah.
Oops.
But it's kind of, that part of Destiny is kind of fun for me. So I feel like this is probably the safest of my predictions.
Okay.
Look, we all know the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to do well. We all know that.
Technically speaking, it's already doing well. It's got a lot of happy eyes on it.
Yes, it does. We know it's going to do well. Now, if it does exceptionally well, I have a feeling Square will probably consider revisiting one of their other beloved series and potentially remaking it.
Fantasy Goku?
Yes. Not what most people call it, but yes.
Chrono Trigger? I'm just Akira Toriyama just kind of
that's his thing. It's
yes,
his thing. Okay, but yeah, I feel like there's potential for us to get a Chrono Trigger remake announcement in the next decade. I'm not saying they will have it done by the end of the decade. I'm saying they will have announced it. It probably won't actually come out until sometime 2030, 2035 range.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to give them at least like 3 years after they're done with 7.
So 2098?
Anyway. My next prediction here is that Starfield from Bethesda that was teased at as a new IP is going to be popular. It's probably going to go through the typical Bethesda release cycle of everybody fucking hates it when it first comes out.
Buggy as shit, we hate it. Well, and then it's buggy as shit, but somehow we love it now. Maybe, kind of. Thank you, modders.
Because the mod tools came out for the modders. No, but honestly, like Fallout 4 had the same cycle. I don't think Skyrim did.
So basically, what you're telling me is Bethesda
76 is still on the bad side of it.
So Bethesda is going to release Starfield. People are going to hate it. They're going to release
they might.
The mod
I don't.
Hold
I'm
on,
saying eventually it's going to be popular and well known, and people are going to be like, I can't remember a time when Starfield wasn't a thing.
Let me finish. So they're going to release the mod tools, and then modders are basically going to be like, oh, you like Star Wars? We give you Star Wars.
Don't get me too excited over here.
Am I wrong?
That sounds excellent.
Laser swords are going to be implemented. It's going to happen.
We don't know what kind of game Starfield's going to be.
It's going to happen.
You're making assumptions that it's going to play in some sort of way like what we've had from Bethesda before. But for all we know, Starfield is going to be a spaceship in space that you're playing as, not necessarily the crew. You get what I'm saying? You don't know. Well, I'm saying we don't know. I'm just saying that it's going to be popular at some point.
What is Elder Scrolls? You run around, you hit things.
Sometimes they just hit you and you don't get to hit them back.
What's Fallout? You run around shooting. Oh wait, you do have melee weapons in Fallout too. So Starfield, more than likely, by the evolution of what they do, it will have some form of melee weapon that will be skinned to look like a lightsaber. I'm just saying it's gonna happen. They're gonna be called laser swords because of copyright. But
no, it's bent light swords, obviously. Bent light sabers. Specifically a hard space in there. While yes, also no. They are stories.
They are stories. Yes, I will agree. But
so if they can tell a story, but they can tell a story in a open world, a galaxy or something, without it having to ever be people off of the ship.
Yeah, I feel like there's a missed opportunity.
Do I think that's what it's going to be? Fuck no. I think it's going to be the Outer Worlds Bethesda edition.
So way more buggy.
I don't know if you played it, but there were some bugs in that too.
There were.
Because it's hard to make such a
more buggy.
It's hard to make such a large thing not buggy.
Yeah, I know. Mine's probably the most controversial out of all of mine.
This isn't that controversial.
I think Gears 6 is going to end up being terrible from a storytelling perspective. I think people are not going to like where it goes.
It's better than claiming that it's going to be just a bad game. Like it's just going to have so many bugs. It's not going to work out of the box or anything like that. That's Starfield. But that's not a controversial opinion. That's
No, it's
just
not.
how Bethesda games come.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like Gears 6 being bad isn't that bad. I mean, that's a good run.
I mean, I've enjoyed.
I predict on your prediction that if 6 is bad,
There will be.
they
a 7.
will be a 7 because they'll feel like they have to make up for it. And then because 7 will probably not be bad, they'll have to make an 8 because they have to keep rolling on
riding
that
the
momentum.
high. At that point, we'll be at JD's grandson, and
then he's going to visit a little place called Silent Hill. I think is coming in the next 10 years. There's going to be a new Silent Hill game. Or something related to Silent Hill, like not necessarily, maybe they'll choose a new location or something like that and name it whatever the fuck they want to name it, but it's going to have like the same attributes or whatever of Silent Hill.
Feel.
There's going to be a horror game like Silent Hill made by the company who owns Silent Hill. Konami?
Yes. I mean, there are those rumors that Konami is trying to get Hideo Kojima to come back to make his Silent Hill game.
You know what? If they had just let him do that as his like homage to things before, it would have been probably outstanding and an experience.
If they had let him do that, that would have been a beautiful magnum opus for him.
But on the plus side, the chances of seeing Norman Reedus naked in that would have been much slimmer than it was in Death Stranding.
This is true. All right, so listen. I know we all love him. He's getting old. He needs.
Are you firing me right now?
It's time to retire. Halo Infinite is going to be the last time we play the main story as Master Chief John 117. Be it he retires, be it he dies, it will be the last time we play as John in a main Halo game.
So not including the Halo early years where we play as him as a kid with the other Spartan boys and girls.
Exactly. Now look, we've had, Chief was the chief of the Spartan 2s.
And the Spartan 3s don't really have anybody like that.
They did. Rookie. The rookie, Noble 6. Well, he was the rookie for Noble Team. But Noble 6, the character you play as in Halo Reach, was basically the chief of the Spartan 3s. Now, the Spartan 4s.
Well, they're just getting more and more watered down as they go, aren't they?
Yes, but I'm sorry.
Because I'm sorry, but 3s can't fucking fight like a 2 can.
But Thawne was fucking
they can't war like a 2 can.
Badass for a Spartan 4. He took down multiple elites with no weapon
Osiris?
And without his fucking helmet.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Thawne. From he's a member of Osiris, yeah. Or not
the
Osiris.
League? Or
he's no. From Spartan Ops during Halo 4. During the cutscenes, the Spartan that's talking to Dr. Halsey ends up getting yanked into the thing.
Great description. I'm glad I know exactly what you're talking about now.
It's a thingy-mabobby that teleports you places.
Speaking of war. Yeah, I'm just done
with it. It never changes.
I'm done with your things. No, this isn't a Fallout thing. There's going to be a new God of War. Another new God of War. It's not going to be like a remake or anything like that. They might remake God of War games. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But no, I'm talking about a sequel to the recent one.
Yeah, the 2018?
Sure. It wasn't this year, right?
No.
All right. The details are difficult on this.
Yeah.
I don't feel like his son has got the chained blades, if you get what I mean, to be the same type of person for the name of God of War. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You feel like he would fall short of living up to his his father's
Unless
legacy.
we're like skipping ahead until he's a giant man made out of mountain muscles.
I mean, potentially, that's how it... I mean, the post-credit scene for recent God of War is Atreus and Kratos both get woken up because of a fucking terrifying storm. Kratos yanks the door open and there's just some dude standing in this fucking storm. And Kratos yells, "Who are you?" And there's a flash of light and you see fucking Mjolnir on this motherfucker's hip. Fade to black.
So you think that Kratos is going to lose a fight at his house to Thor?
In front of his son to Thor. Because he's probably going to think that it's actually Kratos, technically it is, who killed Baldur.
And we all know that gods in God of War just act. Just act on whatever they're feeling right now.
Yep. That's their thing. All of them.
What if he came there to enlist them?
That would be really interesting, but that's not the way it's going to go.
You don't know?
That's not the way it's going to go. What's he enlisting him to do? To kill his father?
You know, he's not actually Odin's son in the...
Yes, I know. I'm making the joke reference.
Okay. So no. But, I mean, if Atreus is actually Loki, then he's got a long way to go before he's starting a Ragnarok.
Before he's Loki. I'm just saying.
And you say at this time, Tyr's already dead. Like,
Tyr's
there's already other
dead.
gods dead.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Odin wants a conversation with them. Maybe Thor's just there to pick him up.
Yes, you send that motherfucker to pick somebody up. Anyway.
It's a show of power, David. It's a thing people do.
Speaking of gods among us,
Oh, God.
there's going to be a good Superman game.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there will.
No, there isn't.
Probably made by the same company who made Batman, the Arkham series.
No. It needs to be made by the same people who made Spider-Man.
I have a feeling they are probably signed exclusively to Marvel. That would be also fun, though.
They're not signed exclusively to anybody.
I mean, they're signed exclusively to Sony. Sony owns
Well,
them.
yes, but what I mean is the Spider-Man thing was like...
Yeah, I know. It was more of a joke. Them making it would be pretty cool, but I feel like the Arkham team, the team who did the Batman Arkham series, know DC a little bit better. Not saying that people at
No, they know...
don't know DC.
No, they don't.
But
Did you see the things that they did in the Arkham games?
look, just because I was unhappy with their portrayal of Jason Todd does not mean shit.
I meant Arkham City? Really? I'm shaking my head.
But no, I genuinely think there's a chance for a good Superman game. I think it's about time we got a good Superman game. And I'm not a Superman fan. But I'm sorry. He deserves a good game.
What? No, he doesn't. What about The Flash? I'm not talking about Sonic reskinned here. I'm talking about like an actual...
Barry Allen, I finished the game.
No. You're making assumptions. There's other gentlemen named The Flash.
Yeah,
and
Jay
this
Garrick,
could be
Wally West, the other Wally West.
And this could be not necessarily about any of them, but all of them, or one of them, or what have you. But I'm saying, do you think about how hard it would be to make a game based off of The Flash? The only way to do it would be to go the CW route.
The entire game is in bullet time.
No, but entering bullet time as a thing
like
for one.
The combat would feel like it.
The controlling,
the
controlling while maintaining a sense of speed would be the most challenging aspect. But no, what I'm saying is, like, you have to balance it with not being the Flash.
Insomniac did a pretty good job with feeling the speed when you're web swinging. So potentially,
And also, Spider-Man wears red too. I like where you're going with this.
potentially, and they both joke.
Yeah, the smart asses because they're both fast thinkers. One's fast everythinger. But I think that in order to make it a otherwise challenging game, like they'd have to go more than just being the superhero.
You'd
part
have
of
to
it.
balance him as Barry doing actual CSI work, which would then help him
Right, which means
figure
that
out
like
the crime
your missions
he's working on.
your missions would actually be like time sensitive and stuff, which shouldn't
But
be
Barry's
a problem.
always late. That's a rule.
Which is kind of ironic for the fastest man on Earth.
He made that a rule so no one would ever think he was the Flash. He actually says that to Wally. He's like, I have not seen the beginning of a movie in 10 years.
Yeah, but at the same time, do you know how that affects the people that you live with, or whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like putting those, like they did with Spider-Man. Actually, they balanced it with Peter Parker scenes and stuff
you
like
had
that.
times where you were Parker.
Insomniac, right?
Yeah,
Insomniac.
Insomniac.
The Flash. Do it. So I didn't mean to steal your Superman.
That's fair. I mean, Superman's also really fast. He's not as fast as the Flash.
Thank you.
He's not. I don't care what any of you say.
Thank you.
He's not.
Shut up. He's not. I don't know. Those were all for charity.
However, I feel like I should consider this next one the most outlandish one, but I don't. Because I feel like this needs to be done.
Not only does it need to be done, but we've skimmed around it with games already.
Yeah.
Like the core concept of what it is. And
there needs to
elevator
be
picture.
There needs to be a video game, a military video game where you deal with the PTSD. Like you're the former soldier having to go to therapy and relive these traumatic events to your therapist so you could try to work through it to help yourself to get over losing X number of comrades in whatever battle, like if it was the Battle of Fallujah, or having to leave a friend behind, or leave a friend's body behind in fucking Korea because you didn't know where he went down.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it doesn't even have to be a real battle.
Yeah, if you pick a real,
you can get those.
War
So you
frame,
can get those experiences.
potentially help actual soldiers work through it.
Newest Ghost Recon and that they actually talk to real soldiers.
Yeah,
about how like this kind of combat and stuff would be done.
Yeah,
you can get those experiences while not necessarily making it those experiences.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. It's like they can get learn those experiences as much as they can from people who had them, and then be able to write it and actually like use them as somebody to bounce those ideas off of. Like, well, what about this and stuff like that? And
yeah, I feel like this is something that needs to happen because this is probably going to sound very controversial, but soldiers get ignored once they're not soldiers anymore.
David, they get ignored when they're still soldiers.
And that needs to fucking stop.
Out of sight, out of mind.
So
keep coming back and listening to us. No.
So I feel like something like that game needs to happen.
I totally agree. Despite my shitty attempt at a joke. I totally absolutely agree. And like I said, I think conceptually to some of the things you were talking about, with it. That we've gotten kind of close. That we've had.
There have been games where you've had to deal with the
having to work through remembering it or something like that.
Something like
and I think that's where
Black Ops games.
I think that's where this will work, is the fact that you'll actually play through the experiences like as flashbacks, or as somebody's kind of making you go through those flashbacks to work through it.
Yeah. What happened after Sergeant Barnes went down?
Right, like what happened after the plane crashed like 30 feet from you, or you know what I mean? Like right into one of your friends or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, or the guy you had to fight. There's a scene in, was it Saving Private Ryan, I think, where the guy gets slowly stabbed because I think it's Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
With because they end up in a physical fight without their guns, and a knife is involved.
Yep.
And like that, like I'll never forget that scene because
slowly
of it.
Pushes
because the guy's trying to.
He's got one hand over the dude's mouth. Dude's holding the dagger, trying to keep it away from him, and he slowly pushes it in.
Right. Like, there's no way you're looking into this person's face while doing that, and it's not affecting you.
Not unless you're already really messed up.
Well, right, but but it would still be affecting you in the sense of making you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So like it's still affecting you. It's just it's a drop in the bucket in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
So yes, no, I totally agree that would be. There's a good way to go about it while still making it a point of, this is the stuff people have to deal with.
Yeah, this is a game. Yes, if you're trying to play this for fun, there are segments that
and I think
you can play for fun, but
from my entertainment desired standpoint, I feel like going to like a futuristic version of Warfare and doing this would be kind of fascinating too. Like, look at Edge of the Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a really good underrated movie.
I don't know if it's underrated. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it because of the sci-fi aspect of it.
Yeah,
of the enemies, I should say. But I found it to be fascinating, and like in the beginning, he's actually really through it. He's living his own death multiple times, and he's got to deal with that
every time.
Like, it's an action movie, sure, but he's still like it's clearly affecting him. It's just a certain point when it becomes a drop in the bucket, and he's just like, I have to keep fighting through these deaths in order to get this thing done.
3, 2, 1. Now I run forward, dodge right, dodge left, duck under the car.
Because when he first goes out there, everything that's happening is extremely overwhelming to him.
Yep.
Like, that guy just died. Oh my God, that guy just died. And then he gets to a point where it's like, yeah, he dies. I can't do anything about that. Yeah, he dies. I can't do anything about that. But now I know what's happening next. Yeah,
yeah.
It's. So yeah, I mean that's where that's my addition to that is that I think something futuristic to spice it up a little bit while still addressing these issues.
Yeah,
is because I mean
if you go
because in 10 years from now, war could be very
potentially could be very different
because of the technology used out on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's the end of the episode.
Please like, comment, follow, and share. And also, more importantly, thank you for listening.
Take care. Bye.